A very good morning, my lovely students. I hope you all are doing good. Happy day to all of you. Greetings from Icon School of Excellence. I'm Shalini Gupta, your teacher. I'm here to teach you all English literature for grade 7. I wish all of you are safe, doing good, and ready to learn. Today I am bringing you all an interesting topic, but before that, let's have some fun in our virtual classes. You remember, students? Before we start our class, we have some warm up activities or some fun activity so that we can freshen up our mind, we are clear, and we have positive vibes to learn something good and new. Before we start our class, I want you all to carry a note copy and a pen in your hand so that if any takeaways or any doubts or anything important you think it is good for you, please note it down for your revision reference also. It will help you throughout. So, we'll start this activity. What you have to do is you have to list down at least two words which has same spellings and same pronunciation but has a different meaning from it. All right, what you have to do is you have to note it down at least two words which have same spelling, same pronunciation, but totally different meaning from each other. All right, so I'm giving you 15 seconds to do this. Your time starts now. All right, children. I hope you all have noted down at least two words. For those who have not and still are in confusion mode that what ma'am is talking all about, from where will I get such words which have same spellings and same pronunciation but has different meaning? So let me take you to there. All right, I'll show you the words which gives you different meanings. I take an example of address. Now, this address, one it means is location and the other one is speak to. Now, these are the two different meaning of this word. Location means children, where do you reside, where do you live? And speak to means to whom you are speaking, to whom you are addressing. Are you addressing to your fellow mates? Are you addressing to your teacher or your friend? Anyone. See, it has same spellings, same pronunciation, but totally different in meanings with each other. Second we'll take is example. Suppose I take the word book. So one of the meaning is textbook, which you have it right now, which you read it. And the other is, tell me, yes, it is reservation. That means booking of a ticket, booking of a seat, anything. That means booking. So book has the same spelling, same pronunciation, but totally different in meaning. Okay. So you have to list down at least two words like this, which gives you same spelling and pronunciation, but totally different in meanings. All right. So next what we'll do is we'll try to understand here what we have learned already and what we're going to learn today. We will reconnect each other with a previous knowledge what we have done in our previous classes. So children, you remember me teaching you figure of speech, right? But we haven't done figure of speech in detail so that I could tell you from where it has come, how to use it, where to use it, and why it is so important. But we have done parts of speech all the time. Parts of speech is nothing. It is used in grammar to build your basics of grammar, and it has its 8 types, which are noun, pronoun, verb, adverbs, adjectives, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. Remember? So figure of speech is totally different from parts of speech. Parts of speech helps you to build your grammar, and figure of speech helps you to build your literature. It also has its types. I will discuss that types later on. But first, we need to understand what is figure of speech and why it is so important for literature and how I'm going to use it and where I'm going to use it. Okay. Now, figure of speech is also known as figurative language. Remember this. This is very important. Figure of speech, which is also known as figurative language. So we will learn in detail in the next page. See, figure of speech. Now, children, there's a small trick in every word. Not here, in every word I say. If you don't understand any word, if you literally don't know any meaning of that word, what you can do is you have to see that word again and again and try to understand what that word is saying, because answer itself is hidden in that word. Okay? Now see here, for example, figure of speech if I take. Don't mug it up just as the term. Understand it. Figure. What is figure? Figure means any picturization, any picture in your mind. That is your figure, your drawing, right? Speech. Your phrases, your sentence is your speech. So, whatever you speak, you have a picture in your mind. That is figure of speech. Easy? Okay, let's start. Figure of speech is a figurative language. Okay, and you know now why it is a figurative language? Because you draw a picture mentally or to convey a message much quicker, effectively, and vividly. Now, children, any picturization gives you a quick answer. It makes you understand very quickly and interestingly, so that it has a last long memory in your mind. That is why we use figure of speech, to make it more interesting, and it is used to make you wider picture of it. Okay, now later on we'll see what is figurative and literal language. Now you will tell, ma'am, we learned figure of speech and you said that it is a figurative language. Now what is this literal language? I will tell you what is the literal language and what is the difference of these two language. Now before I go forward, I would like to tell you a very important thing, and I want everybody to pay attention here. Now, I'm gonna draw something. Please don't judge me according to my drawing, because my drawing is very bad. Now I'm gonna draw here one tree. Okay? I hope you can see. And this is the land. This tree has very, very strong roots. One more tree I'm gonna draw here, but its roots are not so strong. Okay? Next I'm gonna draw is some fruits. Can you see? Fruits are here. But here, nothing. Now what does this picture say? This picture says millions of thoughts, children. Now see in the first picture. This is the first one, this is the second one. I have a good tree. It's a healthy tree. Roots are strong. I have got bunch of fruits here that looks very delicious. In others picture, if you see, I have a tree, but roots are not so strong and I have not one single fruit here. That means what? If you want to have this sweet and tasty fruit, you have to put efforts in your roots. If your roots are strong, you will get good fruits. But if your roots are not strong, you will not get good fruits. The same as with your English, children. Not even English, all the subject. If your roots are not strong, your ultimately your result will be weak. If you strong your roots, if you give efforts here, if you pay more hard work here, automatically you will reach up to here. Okay, so to build this, what we're gonna do, we are learning basics of English, and to make your English more smart, more strong, we will be learning figure of speech. And now you know why it is so important. Now I will tell you now what is literal language and what is figurative language, and what is the main difference in these two. Literal language means whatever is being said is meant as per the words being used. That means it gives you the direct and exact meaning. It gives you the direct and exact meaning of what you're saying. For example, dictionary. Dictionary, if you have seen, I know that you all use, in that whatever you look for, it gives you the exact meaning of whatever you're looking for actually. Okay? It doesn't give you stories, it doesn't give you some hint. It directly just gives you the exact answer of it. But in figurative language, you don't get direct answer. You draw a picture in your mind and then you understand in a wider picture. Imagination, which conveys the ideas fast and quick than the literal meaning. Okay, this is what figurative language is. Now, can you see the picture? A boy is having a book, he is reading that book and is making imagination in his mind. That means he is understanding that story with the imaginations of the pictures which he is reading in the book. Now, to make it more clear, I'll tell you one example. See here in literal language. Ron ran very fast. What did Ron do? He ran very fast. It's simple, it's straight. You knew that Ron is running fast. Now, in figurative, how you can tell the same sentence? You can say, Ron ran like a cheetah. Now, immediately, if I say cheetah, you drew a picture in your mind of cheetah, running cheetah. Now, that is the most fastest running animal. So I compared Ron with that cheetah. That means he's running so fast. Now you understood what is the difference between literal language and figurative language. Literal language, it gives you the exact meaning. You can see here example, and figurative means it drew a picture in your mind and you try, and I compared these two things to give you an answer. Okay. Now to make it more clear, let's see some more example, children. The briefcase weighs a lot. What does this briefcase do? It is so heavy. It weighs a lot. If I said the briefcase weighs a lot, that means you understood it is heavy. Now in figurative language, how you can say is this briefcase weighs a ton. Ton is huge. It is so heavy. You cannot carry it by yourself. So over here it says it weighs a lot. In other side it says it weighs a ton. Meaning is same, children. Only I'm comparing a briefcase weighs as ton. Okay. Now see the third example. His mind is very cool. So he is very composed and calm person. Can you see he is reading a book? So his mind is very cool. In figurative way, how can I say is his mind is as cool as ice. I'm comparing his coolness of mind with ice. Now this is some dramatic way of saying it. I'm not telling it directly. I'm telling you to imagine it. How cool is his mind? Okay, easy. Now I think it is pretty much clear, literal language and figurative language and how it is different from each other. Now the question is, ma'am, why and when to use this? Why I'm gonna learn? Why I'm gonna use this figurative language? Why am I learning this? It's okay if I write it in a literal language? No. Everything has a reason behind it and why it is important. I will tell you. Literal language is highly technical, children. Now, all the time, you cannot just learn technical language. For technical language to understand also, you need some examples, some theories, some imagination in your mind. For example, literal language is, that it delivers exactly what you want, like scientific experiments. Now, if you're in a laboratory, you're doing some experiment, you cannot build a story over there. If your teacher asks you, tell me what did you use in this measurement, you cannot tell, ma'am, it is something like black color or blue color paint which I used. It was in a liquid form. It looked like some jelly. No, you cannot say. If ma'am asks you, if anybody asks you, tell me exactly what did you use? Ma'am, I used chlorine. That is the exact answer. That is a literal language. Now you understood what is a literal language, which gives you the exact meaning. Now, figurative language is used to make your work more interesting and more dramatic, like story writing, poetry, and play. Now, if I write a story in a literal language, it will be very boring for you. You will not even pay attention what ma'am is saying. If I say Ron ran very fast, Ron sleeps at time, Ron is good boy, he eats quickly. So it is a monotonous way of telling me in a very simple and a straight way. If I say in more interesting way, Ron, in earlier days, I have seen Ron, he run like a cheetah. He's an early bird. He gets up early in the morning. That means what? I'm comparing Ron with other object to make it more interesting. And you're drawing pictures in your mind. That is a figurative language, children. And we use this language while story writing, poetry, and play. And trust me, this is very important for you. In school, also, in exam, also, if you use these heavy words and weightage words in your conversation, in your writing skills, trust me, you will learn 80% of it every all the time. It is so interesting and so important, and it will make you more smart in a grooming ways also and in a learning ways also. You will never feel any difficulty in learning or reading anything new. So keep in a habit of learning these new words, learning these new techniques and how to use it. Whatever we are teaching you right now, I want you to implement in your daily life. Figurative language, I will tell you in detail what are its types so that it will be more easy for you to use those things. Remember in class, children, I have taught you how to use it, pardon word, yes, please, and then come again. So these are the words. It's not just the fancy words, it just gives the weightage of your conversation. That is why I'm teaching you all this to make your base more strong. Okay, so please pay attention. Now, today then again quickly we'll revise what we have learned because in next class I'll tell you what we're gonna do more. So we learned children that parts of speech and figure of speech are two different things. Okay, part of speech is related to grammar, figure of speech is related to literature. You learn like this. Okay, then second thing I told you, parts of speech has its 8 types. Figure of speech also have varieties of types, but we will use and learn most commonly used. Okay, second we did is we learned what is figure of speech. And third, we learned what is figurative and literal language. We learned that figurative language is what? Yes, it is a picture due in our mind, figures that gives us the quick and effective answer. And literal is exactly it delivers the meaning of a subject. Now, difference between with them examples. Yes, we have done this. We have taken example of Ron, that Ron ran very fast and Ron ran like cheetah. This was the example of figurative and literal. Now, where and when to use this? I told you, literal language you will use while writing some specific and crisp and direct things. And figurative you can use to build your stories, your essays, your comprehensions, your poetry, your plays, like that. Okay? I hope it's pretty much clear to you what these both means and how these both stands against each other. Now, in next class, I will tell you more about types of figure of speech. And I know that we have already discussed. These are simile, oxymoron, alliteration, hyperbole, personification, metaphor, idioms. We have discussed this and we have already made some notes of this, remember? In next class, I want you to keep this copy in front of you, your homework copy, where we have mentioned this, so that you can take this as a reference. Do not forget any one of this. This is very important and keeps a very good weightage in your English. Okay. Now in next class, we'll discuss this quickly. Now let's see what is your homework for the day. It is the interesting part of your day. Revision of today's class. You will do all the revision, what I have made you learn today. You will write down the meanings and difference between figurative and literal language with examples. Yes, I told you what are those. What does those terms means? What you will do, you will build your own examples. You will not copy my examples. Once you start thinking in your examples, you will have a clear picture of it. Okay? Do not make examples like he ran, he slept. No. I want a standard examples at least of 2 lines. Minimum of 2 lines of examples, you will make it in your own and you will write it down in your copy. Okay? Now this was for your today's class. So children, I hope you all found today's topic very interesting and I believe you were able to understand all that was discussed and explained today. Very importantly, I want all of you to revise on what was taught on today at least twice. You will not keep it for later. Today you have learned something. Today you should revise it so that it will be fresh in your mind. And please do make a note of it where you have felt problem, where you think you have not understood. You please make a note of it. We will discuss that later. Now, in this session, we have given you some assignment and activities. Without fail, I suppose that you will finish it soon. I look forward to see you in my next session and eager to bring you all interesting topics. Lots and lots of wishes to you for your health and safety from all of us at Icon School of Excellence. Do carry your note copy and homework copy for my next session. Till then, happy learning, children. See you soon. Thank you.